YouTube. It's another Saturday, and that means it's time to check and see how my rocks are doing in my tumbler. Hello. Just checking out my rock tumbler. This is a 12-pound barrel. It's got a mix of chert, quartz, and some other random stuff. So let's take the rubber off. That's pretty good. Just clean the rubber real quick. Alrighty. Hey, how's it going, Mr. Krabs? All right. So we're gonna dump everything in here and clean it off real quick, and then go through it. Hopefully some of this quartz is ready to move on today. Oh, good. Glad to hear you're doing well. Alrighty, let's move this over and start going through it. That's a little too bright. Alright, where should we start? Let's look maybe at this. So this was a new piece that we put in. It's from Augusta County, I think, near St. Mary's Wilderness. Alright. There we go. I think we got our lighting good. So it's got some really cool pink and green, and then white quartz as well. But it's only been in a week, and it was a really big piece. I expect it will break along some of these lines, but we'll see. Let's see. Let's take a look at this one. There's a few other people here. So this is a nice piece of chert that has that quartz in it. You can see this side still has some spots that need to smooth out a bit. Yeah, usually we do have more people here by now. So this was a new... So I'm from Virginia, so these rocks are mostly from Rockingham and Augusta counties. The quartz, like this piece, all comes from Montgomery County, Maryland, Bethesda area. So this was a purplish looking piece of quartzite. Hey, Ivy! I was hoping it would come out a little better than it did. I don't know that it will take a good shine, but maybe I'll leave it in another week or two at least. See what happens with it. So I'm figuring out the best way to hold my camera today. So the small bits are, they're little ceramic media. They help make sure grit is getting into some of these small crevices. Let's see. Maybe let's see. Here's another new piece of some sort of smoky quartz that I cut in half. It's pretty cool. It definitely needs more time tumbling. Let's see. I'm gonna find something cool. Oh, so here's the other half of that rock. So it used to look like this, more or less. Now it looks like this. So this side has more like deep holes that will take some time to smooth out. Here's another, probably quartzite. It's got a neat sort of set of colors to it. So we'll see how that one turns out. This has only been in here a week, so I wasn't expecting too much. And some other quartzite. This one's doing better than the rest. So I think we'll take a neat pattern and a good polish once it's done. So this one is chert. It's got that very limestone base color to it, which makes sense because it comes from limestone. Most of the sides are getting, well, actually every side really is getting pretty smooth, but I want it a little rounder, so it'll go back in another week. Here's a neat little piece I found when I was visiting family in New Orleans. I don't really know what it is, but it's kind of cool. And this one I will definitely take a good polish. Let's see. Here's one I've been eager to see. So I was hoping it would be done this week. So there's one spot in here that I still don't think grit's been able to reach really well. So another week and it should hopefully smooth out. And that'll give this little crack a little more time to smooth out too. But, so this was quartz that I got in Bethesda near the Cap'n John Creek bed. Cap'n John area. So I really, really want to make sure that some of this red that kind of turns into yellow stays. Let's see. This is a neat little piece of chert. This side still is not quite done. It's always annoying, trying to figure out, is it time to just move it on? Because this side's really cool. There's some cool colors. And a little bit of quartz, you can see the white. So that's when I hope finishes soon. Let's see. Weirdest color. I don't know, I'll have to think about that for a minute. So this is just quartzite. It's from, there's a lot of it if you head down towards Stanton in Augusta County. It shines really well, I like it. The weirdest color. I have one rock that came out a little like a lightning bolt. So this one I thought was pretty weird. weird and not in a bad way or anything, but the colors, it reminds me a little bit of a lightning bolt all the way through it. It didn't take a great polish though. But I like this one. The backside actually looks maybe a little better. All right, so this came from the same rock as this. It's got a little bit more of an orange tint to it and is taking a little bit longer. This one's interesting. Sometimes I put them in and there's still a lot of like fractured bits on the exterior, and it takes a while to really get down to a nice area that's free from cracks. And that's kind of the case with this one. I think it'll be neat when it's done. So here's a fun piece of chert. Really like the color over here. So the color and then the lines that run through it. Over here still needs to smooth out a bit. And then the back side still needs to smooth. This is one I'm really, really looking forward to, but it'll probably be a few weeks. Let's see, some more quartz. Neat little yellow. You can see it has fractures all the way through it. But I have a feeling it'll stay in one big piece. This is a pretty clean, milky quartz. Here's a fun one. It's more quartz, but it's got probably iron staining is causing the reds. I think that one's really cool. Here's a big, I think it's chert. I keep expecting it to break along some of these lines, and it hasn't. One thing I did this week, since so many of you have asked if you can buy these, I did set up a Shopify shop. So I've got some finished rocks. And you can check out the shop, it's in the bottom left corner, or it should be. Yeah, it should say view products. So I've got some chert like this and some epidote. And these are all finished tumbling. And then a few, don't want to get that in there, a few necklaces. So like this is a milky quartz that's been pretty heavily stained by iron, which I always like. I think creates a cool contrast and pattern. So all those are in the shop. If you have any questions about them, let me know. Let's see. So this is kind of a cool speckled quartzite, I think. Hopefully after another week or two, some of this coloring that looks like mud will just be on the very top layer and will come off and it'll look a little better. Everyone's so quiet today. Any big weekend plans? So here's more milky quartz. It came from the same rock as this piece that we saw earlier. Probably cut it there. So this used to be like little crystal pockets poking through, but now it's smoothing out nicely. Let's see see. Maybe we can find another good piece of dirt. Well, let's finish up with our milky white quartz. So this one's got, you can see they're still very stained. Oh no. Did you actually lose electricity or no? Let's see, so this piece and this piece, let's see them together. At one point, let's see if I can even, yeah, you can still piece them together. At one point, these were one big rock, but there was a huge fracture down the center. And so now we've got this, which is really cool. I didn't realize this was going to be in there. You can see there's milky quartz that's been iron stained, like dead in the center. So that's going to be pretty cool when it's all said and done. And then there's a little bit of it over here too. This one I wouldn't be surprised if it broke along this line as well, since there's a deep fracture there. But we shall see. So here's one that's almost ready. Oh, that's good. Glad your electricity didn't go out. But when you run your hand over it, you can feel it's not quite smooth. So I'll put it back in for another week. This is kind of boring, but might be interesting. It looks like it's a little bit like this one. Hey, lazy boozy gamer. But it's got more of whatever causes those speckles. We'll see how that turns out. Maybe we'll do this one. Here's another chunk of quartz. It's pretty dirty, so it's not going to be the prettiest when it's done. That's okay. I'll keep putting it through. Here's one that's not quite ready, but so you can see really right there. This area still needs more time than this area. It's a neat little piece of quartz. It's yellow, stained. Not sure from what. Oh, so here's the other half of this rock. So these used to be together. But it was too big to put in my tumbler, and I was curious what it looked like inside. So I cut it. I actually kind of like this. I might cut some slices of this off to use for little pendants. I'll have to look more closely at the color later and see if it would be worth doing that. Let's see. Well, if you fall asleep, that's all right. If you gotta go to bed, you gotta go to bed. So these two used to be together as well. This one, yeah, this one's been in here a week longer than the other half, so it's a bit smoother. Yeah, this will be a cool one to see in the end when it's done. Some chert that's just about finished. I might put this in a small tumbler with just a couple other things. Hi, Anastasia. Because I don't want to... This sort of chert sometimes fractures really badly, so maybe protect it in a smaller one. Hello. I am here in Virginia, in the United States. Good to see someone from Indonesia, though. Here is some more quartz, again from Bethesda, Maryland. I think this one I'm going to move on, even though it's not perfect. But I really like the blue with all the little white speckles. and I don't want it to get too small. I like the size right now. So I think I'm gonna move this one on to the next stage. Just a little bit more of a rock that we saw earlier. So, looks pretty similar. I think they both came from the same place. This one I'm worried may not take a polish. It feels very grainy when you run your hand over it. Maybe that's just the exterior. It does look like caramel. Like this one, kind of looks like a piece of melting caramel. I don't like this corner here. It's not gonna do well. It's bruised pretty bad. Let's see. So this one is pretty cool. I don't want it to get any smaller, so I'm going to smooth out this edge here manually on a machine. So I guess not manually, but I'm not gonna put it back in the tumbler. So I wanna keep it so it's nice and clean. See, this is a cool piece of chert. All right. I'll try not to. Thank you for the context. I would have understood. So this one's got that kind of typical for around here. Iron stained milky quartz that we saw a little bit of earlier. So like this is the same material that's kind of underneath the top layer here. So I love this stuff. Got some pieces, so like here's a tumbled piece of it. It makes these really cool spider web patterns. From fractures that kind of seal back up and iron stain seeping in and all that. And this is one, I don't know what to do about this side. A horse's head? Yeah, so this is a cool one. I really like it. Oh, here's a piece that's just iron stained quartz. So it's milky white quartz with some stained, so iron turns it red. And here in Rockingham County, our soil is apparently very high iron content, which it's like a clay. So I really like this one. I wish this spot here would smooth out. That might be another one that gets to go in a small tumbler with little pieces to hurry it along without messing it up. And then this is kind of an ugly color, but it's pretty cool still. I got it in New Orleans as well when I was visiting family. This one's been driving me nuts. So this side is still not ready. You can see it's very grainy and like feels like concrete almost. And it's driving me nuts because this side has been ready for so long. I feel like it's just shrinking. Oh, I think this might be our last New Orleans piece. So it's still got a couple little rough spots over in the yellow, but I'll probably move it along just because I don't want to lose the yellow, and I probably will if I leave it in too long. So like this blue, I have a feeling it's chert. I don't know what causes the blue in the chert. Normally it's like a dark gray, but sometimes you get blues. And this one, I haven't quite known what to do with. This may also be one that has to move on before it's really smooth everywhere. And this one, So again, it's very gritty on this side, or grainy. You can feel, it feels a lot like concrete, which means it won't take a polish. But this side looks pretty good. So that's always a little bit frustrating when it's almost ready on some spots and not ready in others. Here's another little piece of quartz. Again from Bethesda, Maryland. Here's one that, so this is also from Bethesda. It's not as stained as the rest that we've seen. I don't want it to get too small, but I don't want to waste time moving it on to the next stage if it's not ready. I'll have to think about this one and whether or not it's ready. This is a very stained piece of quartz, but it's pretty cool. Hitting my head on my lamp. So let's see. You can see there's some color, some patterns. So I'm hoping that will come out really nice. This side feels a little more crumbly, but maybe after another week, it'll smooth out and have a nice, good surface to work with. There's another one. So this side's pretty good over here, but still needs some work. So do any of you tumble rocks or polish rocks or anything? Make cabochons? Turn rocks into jewelry? Aw, poor guy. So here's some more kind of dirty chert. Or not dirty chert, dirty quartz. All right, so this is one that I'm gonna move on even though it's got some spots because I really like the way it looks. As it is, and I don't want to lose any of that. And that's one that will take a really nice shine. Yeah, I want to get a cab machine. I have a flat lap, which is like a cheap flat version of a cabbing wheel. But I'd love to get a wheel. That's probably the next thing I'll get. If any of my polished rocks and pendants online that I'm selling start to sell. So if anyone's interested, I've got these neat pendants. They're quartz and some polished quartz and chert. Buy them through Shopify. It's in the bottom left corner. Go ahead and check it out. Hi, Aurora. So here's another, it's kind of boring, some sort of quartzite. I'm still kind of hoping that there's something interesting here, but I don't know what it would be. But the color looks different, so maybe there's something there. So King Donta, what do you, what sort of rocks do you have where you live? Anything interesting? So this one definitely broke in the tumbler this week. It was smoothing out a bit, but see all these jagged edges, something broke. Well, shucks. Let's see. So this, I think, is quartz, maybe? It's red. So when I cut the rock in half, so there should be another half. Yeah, here it is. How did these go together? I think it went like this, about. Nope. Wrong way. There we go. All right. So this one's pretty cool, or it will be when it's done, I think. So another piece of very dirty quartz. Let's see. There's a little river rock that it's kind of interesting. It's kind of grainy, which makes me think it's not going to polish. Hello, Easy. Let's see, here's a big piece of chert. Quartz jelly beans. Oh, Crowley agates. Those are cool. I love, so Crowley agates, you can find, I think all the way down to New Orleans, just everywhere along that river that runs out that side of the country. So this is, it was mostly chert, but it's increasingly quartz. I don't know what to do with it though. It's got so many holes. It's another little piece of chert. It's very cute. This quartz, it's got a lot of cracks in it, but maybe it'll turn out okay. So you never know until you try. Yeah, people haven't been too chatty today. I don't know why. This is just a simple quartzite. And I'll take a break from the tumbled rocks, show you a couple of things I'm working on. So this is chert, cut into a nice little shape. Hasn't been polished completely though, so it's not ready. Let's see. So yeah, you can see that's what it looks like before the polish is done. But that'll be a cool one when it's done. And then, I can't decide if I think this is going to be pretty or not. What do you guys think? It's kind of a pink and green situation. I guess we'll see. And then some more chert that I'm polishing. See how it turns out. Let's see. And the rock that I got this one from, so this pendant just polished, it's like a river rock. I'm gonna cut a few more little slab things of it. So I've got one here. Need to decide what shape to use. And I'll polish them and put a few pendants made from it up in the shop. Maybe make a couple bucks towards my my next cabbing machine. This one's pretty cool, but it broke again. It's never gonna finish. All right, so this one I think it's time to move on, even though there's a little spot there that could use work. It's just Just a little stained quartz. I'm glad you like them. They're not always people's favorites. My fiance says they remind him of like kidney stones. Hey, Rain. This is neat. Little chirp. The weather's really nice today, so I may take my dog out to help me find some new rocks to tumble. This is another chirp. This one, I think, has only been in here a week or two. Hopefully, this kind of icky color over here is just surface level, and it will be nice and pretty when it smooths out and when it's done tumbling. Here's a cute little one. It's about ready to move on. See if I have any finished yellow ones over here. Yeah, so all sorts of like yellowish quartz. Here's one that's finished. Let's see. It's another kind of yellow with it looks like there were maybe fractures at one point that sort of sealed back up and sealed in something that stained it. So I kind of like this one. And here's one, it's not yellow, but it's also quartz. Yeah, so when they have little cracks on the inside, the cracks will still be there in the end, unfortunately. So even though this feels perfectly smooth, you can see, obviously, since it's translucent, that there are little cracks in there. Yeah, if there's any interest in any of these, I can throw some up in the shop as well. And if anyone buys anything, I'll be sure to throw in just some random tumbled rocks with whatever you buy, since I have plenty. This one, I wish I could have found a better specimen of this. I really like the purplish colors. So it should be in the bottom left corner, there should be a, is it still there? Well, if you go to my profile, you can go over to store, and it'll show you some of the featured items. You can look through, and I'll add stuff up. Yeah, I do. I haven't started doing that, but I have a P.O. box set up. If you go to my profile, in the description, it's P.O. Box 21, Pinlaird, Virginia, 22846. You are welcome to send rocks there, and I will throw them in my tumbler and show you how they turn out. I know a couple people have sent me rocks lately, or are planning on sending me rocks. I don't know if they're in the mail yet, which will be fun. I get to show you guys some stuff from other places instead of just my Maryland and Virginia rocks. This one is probably not going to polish. It's got some very grainy field spots to it. Depending on how much space I have, I may take that one out. So yeah, this one may come out too. It's not the best. This is okay, but it's got a lot of cracks in it. Yeah, these are okay too. Maybe I'll go back out to where I found, so over in Albemarle County nearby, there's a lot of, like, yep, now I've got them wet. I have to clean these off if anyone buys them. They have a lot of epidote and quartz with epidote. And these seem to tumble very easily. So maybe I'll go pick up some more of those soon. Can be my next adventure with the dog. Although he doesn't like the heat we've been having lately, so he gets tired 15 minutes in and wants to turn around and go home. Here's another little yellow quartz. Let's see, I don't know that any, ooh, this one might be interesting. We're running out of really interesting ones. So this is, so the green is probably serpentine. I found it in Bethesda, Maryland, which is an area that has a lot of serpentine, which is green. So maybe that's why it's green inside. But regardless, it's cool. Here's a little more chert. It's a teeny tiny one, but it's got some leopard spots. Yeah, we're down to some tiny stuff that won't be as interesting to look at. Ooh, this one's ready though. Feels very smooth all the way around, which is a good sign that it's ready to go. So I'll set that one in my ready for the next stage pile. Then let's see. That's about all I have for rocks that I've tumbled this week. Hey, Tom. Let's see, I do have this. So I cut this earlier today. It's got kind of a neat color to it. I'm worried it will break along these lines. But we'll see. I may try and cut a little slab out of it. And here's the other side. If I can, maybe I'll make a necklace from that today. Otherwise, I think that's all I've got. So I'm gonna head out and let you guys enjoy your weekends. And don't forget to check out the shop in case there's anything interesting you want to purchase. And of course, I've got a ton of tumbled rocks, so I'll throw in some goodies with any purchases made. I don't wire wrap. I am not good at it. I have tried and failed. Hey, Dewey. I'm actually just heading off, but thanks for stopping by. You too. I may be on again later, either later today or sometime tomorrow, depending on how my schedule looks. But I'll see you guys later.